Greetings, my fellow Ambazonians. This one na Capo Daniel. I don't come with a special edition for podcast will be titled Frog Must Go. What is really wrong? We don't see say the campaign for kill Francophone them for our territory be on. It don't just be an issue on the fringes of our society, but I abacho it don't fully come. It can take a stand. It talks say mid and kill Francophone them, justify the killing of Francophone anyway, with the fact say if they kill one Anglophone, make we kill two Francophones. Now a very strong debate and a need for really give una enough material so that me all man be able to make up your own mind. The first thing why they always judge anything na the foundation. When you start anything based on lies, on a faulty foundation, the likelihood na say you no be honest, you be properly motivated, and the end go surely be disaster. The particular campaign we don't start now for ground zero with the killing of these 8 Francophone, the way they go move them for the Haskan kill and for Nacho. They talk na say the people them been a black leg where Yabacho don't confirm them too. Say then go call la Republic make can kill the 5 picking them way 4 of them na teenager the way na youth them for inside our quarter. We all know na say that one na lie. These Bamileke people them they no be get anything for do with that Cameroon their military action. As a matter of fact, now that boy their girlfriend where they be go lie say they don't kidnap them, make video, they threaten their family, say they go rape them if they not send money. Now that boy, now that girl their family, he call Cameroon military, then come for they can kill that boy them. So these Bamileke people they no be guilty of that crime. They don't just kill them. Na innocent blood where they don't spill them. So na innocent blood. After they discover and say that one he be for outside. The second thing they talk now say these Bamileke people they be the block, they be the disobey ghost town. That one whether not true or not, I know if you know. Some people then talk say they serve for ghost town using back doors. So one then talk say them no be the serve for ghost town. But wait till you know say these people then be the pay for our soldier them. So today they don't call Kevin one Francophone again. They don't kill him. So now a very very big issue where they go on. So I go analyze them in 3 different places. First of all, I go tell now the ramification them where go happen if we start the key Francophone them the way they misguided individual the way that they push this thing they do it go happen. Not be saying that thing we know them before. I go play some specific audio them and I go choose one person for egg of C when a patch when a Assange when a passed away there for South Africa. I go use not only a word them because the main problem we'll get them for this struggle. Now when any leader, whether the reason be valid or not, he decide for begin surround himself with people that they not get brain or people that surround leader when a hand clap away they not be capable for reason or for ask question. When Siseko in the beginning he be get problem with the other leader them, whether not they be the blackmail you or wait to be the reason, he be decide for replace them with the so-called country heads. And that time I be the talk say the danger for replace them with country head. And I say this country head now individual the way they for this struggle with the sole purpose for get position. Most of them they pay money now for buy position and they not be competent enough for be able for hold Siseko to account or for even guide it for principle them. You need people then where they never cancel where they feel hold leadership to account and make sure that they preserve the integrity and national interest because you must protect us from ourselves. Nobody is a saint. And that happened. Today we see the same thing for the other groups them. Sako he come out, he select his own friend them, put and say na his own restoration council. Cristiano the same, Marianta the same. Today we see say the egg of C, he done there with people then way they no fit ask question. All man they clap hand. Shaker we talk his own and say if I about show fit sleep with woman, he no mind. I about Joe talk say if he come out the worker for run for road with empty last. Me follow her then see follow ye. So that one be worse than the type of slavery mentality way Paul Biya or maybe we say King Jong-il demand them for your people them. That is not what we want. That is not what our people deserve. So I go play some of the audio them for patch here because a pastor. Me remember time where they be started to say frog must go. The thing where I have actually be calling for telly. Say this thing go be a deadly blow to our struggle. And now the same thing where he talk for our forum when I sold that and did it for ADF. Say if we pursue this policy, it go destroy this struggle. Today, he can't talk, say me, then go key Francophone them. Nobody inside that organization, they don't stand for race objection, conscience objection, Or even for tell you, say, what about what you will be talking before? The whole thing, na say, all man, a groupism. Groupism, partisanship, it don't make them, the Ambazonian, the way they be active for this struggle, they no get brain of their own. Now, just blind followers. Things is right or wrong, depend whether on my own side it do them or not. And with that way, we'll not be effective and we'll not win this war. So anyway, make I play some of the audio them. I go to explain them for now as we go in front.
Of tension, chaos, confusion. It will even reach a level where even Ambazonia, they will attack Ambazonia for certain scores. It will result into total chaos. It will be limited to say Francophones immediately leave. A lot of our people, they don't run go inside La Republique, they stay for La Republique, a lot of them.
Those guys consider that so. Of course now. If Anglophone they start driving from the zone, Francophones will start driving from their own zone. They've been touching themselves. So we will bring instability for their country. And then the forces say we will live together.
We will be very careful. When something do it work very well, we will take something. Well, if it end up being counterproductive, we can destroy it work well for our revolution. We will fight for our sovereignty. We will fight we need international support. Even though some people don't say from the international community. Somehow we need international understanding, say this, so we deserve our sovereignty. So how can you convince the international community say you get right for own sovereignty? With this kind of xenophobic kind, utterances, where you don't reach. And Cameroon, they take all these audios for La Republique citizens, they must go, Francophones, they must go. La Republique will take and make very good use there when they do their own diplomacy at the international scene. Tell the people, the people in this world don't give them country. They try Francophone them when people where they fight for independence, the people they be reasonable, where they respect international law, they respect human rights. You want to be against civilians. Like no pity begin to slaughter a lot of civilians before you enter back for Ambazonia. Because you go attack for this land, Republic land. You don't burn no one civilian in the house for they don't burn, you don't slaughter no civilian for they. If this war be a Francophone against Anglophone, like no pity for you get bullets them. If you slaughter even 1,000 civilians them.
So, fellow Ambazonian, I go tell now exactly what will happen if we start go down this way, so we want attack Francophone them.
You see, me they advocate nonsense. Me so one man go kill Francophone for Ambazonia, and then one of my person head egg for La Republique, say na La Republique disait the patch go confirm code here. You go confirm code. You go no say they play go hot pass ground zero for you. I tell you.
So this audio I don't play and the last one. Now one of the ADF of C people them for South Africa for Cape Town. It be the same personal warning for Pachie. Say if them promote the thing say Frog must go, Francophone then touch your own family way there for Yaoundé. He go cash Pachie for South Africa for Cape Town day. He go kill him. So now he talk. This is what I will tell you people if we start kill Francophone them. When I remember say Francophone them self they be done start for one for cause me then go attack Anglophone them. Now Paul BSSF if you talk for back say that thing it go backfire. Me no be then start this particular palaver for attack Anglophone them. If we start for key Francophone them, what will go happen I say the Francophone them they go kiwi pass the way we key them because they get military for their back and I think that way they want for do one for a long time. No be only so, we get property them for inside their side pass the way we then get property for our side. So they go seize all the property them for Anglophone the way they do for their side. Then for our side, because they get military, then go can seize property them for our side, game for their own people them. They go bring protection for their own people them inside Ambazonia. We go fast track our captivity where they go put the system where they for inside Myanmar. Where person before you want even go for school, you take permit for area where they don't colonize them or area where they marginalize them. now we go lose. International community, as them be quiet today, they go talk say now we start them. They go allow Paul Biya make it do anything we need for do and for protect your own people them. Una no need for look far, more una look only what it happen for Israel. How they allow them meet and show Palestinian them, destroy their houses, put all kind law against them because they believe say they fight now against terrorism. Something we na say the world will realize them, say na tinda we would do am. And even more so, it go give Paul Biya a legitimacy for the war where they fight and where it no be popular. Francophone go know say it actually fight now for protect their own French-speaking people them inside our land. Now Paul Biya it go win if we go down that road.
I dey sorry una Ambazonians in plenty. I dey sorry una. Una life for go fall for something where it sounds sweet. And then una delay una self inside deception. Una our life for fall for think the way it sound very good, very sweet, very very convincing. Una life for fall for trap. Una Ambazonian people them. Gullibility, so now go destroy una. And when I go suffer. When I go suffer. If una no fit be critical in una thinking. If una no fit use una brain. When I just be excited over anything. When I just be emotional. When I go suffer. When I go suffer, when I go feel this thing, and La Republic will teach you now how to be enslaved person. Now go be in a climax of enslavement. Who be the Michel Nam? This is my way write this thing so. Who be he? When I don't go back for history, because they talk say history of something, they reveal the identity. Now whether we celebrate October 1st, now whether October 1st be very significant. Because now our history, they reveal our identity. We'll discuss some small history about this guy where when they share he write off here. Now Michel Nam on Nam Angels. When I don't ever go study a Facebook profile. I tempo for that Eric Tato. He man na Eric Tato.
So anyway,
this man has been operating in this revolution as an infiltrator, as an agent of the enemy. His activities, go back to his activities, his anti-revolutionary activities.
Anyway, wait to patch the talk na the tin way I about the teach people the meet and talk na tin way they be the talk we always be the talk See the issue for inject francophone or xenophobia for this our struggle it be brought in by La Republique. Whether they be accused they be paying na Eric Tato or they be paying na Wuse me then inject them that venom for help for spoil the struggle because probably no be give way for justify the war and no be give way for continue this war. So they be that establish them. Say this frog must go na Cameroon agent they push them. So it be as it be when the year they push them today I have a show it can't talk them. And no say na just desperation because things are come up for day. It don't be desperate for try for gather the support where I get them for ground zero. You need to come. Now way to use this desperation. But that one another story for another day. Today the Michael Namwe they call and say na La Republique agent na La Republique don't pay. You see this girl where they be done drive for egg of see where don't come out the toxic Capo Daniel one chami. See Capo Daniel accusing me of seducing me. You don't know how many women they know they ask me and show Bobby for Facebook this day. So this girl them all this one way they be calling this my call how they call them Chinese and lapsa people. Now way they don't go carry and the Michael Nam and all those people where they be talking a La Republique agent they don't go bring them. The policy where they be noticing a La Republique agent they don't bring us. So today now would be the La Republique agent. If they apply this their sound doctrine, it means na Ayabacho now it work for La Republique. Na Ayabacho now it help La Republique for give them ammunition for their diplomacy for win Ambazonia. Na Ayabacho now that make them a permit a Tanganjipo for even can stay for Bamenda. Na Ayabacho that make them this so-called exile chief them where they no be fit show face for Commercial Avenue. Today they don't get means for come day because of thing where Ayabacho it don't do am. So now the same conclusion that way, they no fit argue because now the NSSF then put forth that logic. My country people, that aside, because all these things for me are just irritation. You are more bigger. This thing is about you, about our future, not about individuals. So I go focus for stick to the script for explain for our people them. This is not politics. If we go down this road for xenophobia, for toxic frog must go, hate speech, that means say we self wouldn't defeat ourselves, wouldn't hand our country for La Republic, wouldn't give Pobia biggest gift. Most of the people the way they push this thing, now people the way they not they think properly. Now people they don't be blinded by groupism, partisanship, we be negative for our liberation struggle. I could go ahead for Nelson Mandela, a website for also the research where he be put on for inside O'Malley library where they online. I go read the SCN, the ANC, the organization where South Africa they be using for fight for their own freedom. So that may go get some example how they deal with this type of question them because then too they be done face this challenge. I go read them. I go to explain them. Then talk say the historic record is clear. It was ANC policy ever since the formation of MK na their own military wing in 1961 to avoid all unnecessary loss of life. The ANC has never permitted random attacks on civilian targets, unlike many other liberation movements as well as resistance movement after the Second World War. The ANC scrupulously sought to ensure that civilians were not the target of the MK. In the first sabotage campaign in the early 1960s, the High Command of the MK sought to ensure that attacks on government installation would not lead to the loss of any single civilian life. When the MK units were at first sent into action, they were under strict instruction not to jeopardize the life of civilians. Even when armed guards were encountered at possible targets, regional committees were instructed that their cadets should be ordered not to shoot any civilian except in cases of self-defense. Once MK camps had been established, the part of their training of every combatant was for police education and the need to preserve the sanctity of life. The doctrine of the MK was that the enemy should never be defined simply in racial terms. That means even the South African, the way they be fighting against white people, they be denying me they not define their own struggle and say na issue for white and black. That is their ideology for their military. The AC continue to read. The ACNC decided to become a signatory to the Geneva Convention in 1977. It was the first liberation struggle in the world to take this step. To adhere to the terms of the convention confirms the movement's commitment to avoid attacks on civilians and was a crucial point in the turning of the support of the MK, both across Africa and even in some quarters in South Africa. That means say now this is their principle they be make the struggle itself of against support for other African countries and even within South Africa. The efforts of the South African state to destroy the ANC and MK was mainly targeted to destroy the image of its moral strong basis. That means say the South African government they be no say the need for chakara the image where ANC then bring and say them being they respect international law. The state of South Africa method included infiltration by state agents, spies, cross-border raids, and kidnapping actions to disguise them as actions performed by the MK. Assassination, torture were widespread as dirty tricks by South Africa to target the image of the ANC. So when I see all this type of action, the way they talk say government they use them for target, for spoil people that revolution. Today, I have actually one embrace them for impose them for Ambazonia. Me define we. That means say you say they decide for spoil the revolution, for kill, for destroy this revolution. This is treason. I continue. Despite all these difficulties, the ACNC restrained its commitment to international acceptable forms of combat. It never sanctioned terrorism, which could be defined as a military attack on civilians by armed groups or individuals. When some of the cadets transgressed this policy, their actions were regretted and in some cases publicly repudiated. The ANC did not visit systemic violence or intimidation upon civilians. It did not use military method used in the defense of racism. When weighed in the scale of history, the ANC and the South African apartheid regime occupied opposite ends of the spectrum, both in terms of policy and practical conduct. The morality of the ANC, its objective then and now, and the standard it sets itself dictates that we examine the conduct of the struggle critically and acknowledge where errors took place. It was part of the 4 pillars of the struggle. It had to be conducted in such a way as to reinforce rather than undermine these other pillars. From the beginning, a narrow definition of targets were made and maximum restraint was exercised. There was pressure to pursue options such as attacks against white civilians, and there were intense debates on these issues, especially in response to state repression. But the movement again and again reasserted its basic principle. Structures set up to lead armed struggle were adopted to concrete conditions, and in each instance, to strengthen political control of the military campaign. Given the ever-increasing militarization of the white South Africa from the late 1970s onward, and the unbridled violence used against civilians by the former apartheid regime, we submit that the ANC always exercised exceptional restraint in the conduct of armed struggle. Since the founding of the MK in 1961, the ANC never deviated from its belief that it is not only morally wrong, but strategically senseless to attack civilian targets. So, my fellow Ambazonians, without bothering you too much, a word to a wise is sufficient. This past Monday the 17th, I ran do well for campaign for all Ambazonia. So that means our population, all man respect goes down for already show our soldiers and those who they try to spoil this struggle. Say now a collective struggle where the civilian they play a crucial part. When I go back, go look for all history, then for every struggle. Sideways, they always show some level for civility, they always win. When I look the Israel and Palestinian problem, Israel, according to international law, they are the wrong. But for their own society and their own law, they accommodate Arabs them and Muslim them. But the Palestinian them, because them be so angered, they don't decide for their own charter them, say Israel shall never exist. Only that anger where they don't put and so it don't hold them back for progress till today. Because Israel will talk to them, na terrorists them. We would accommodate una no fi accommodate we. And the world they always be prone for help the side way that they be accommodating. We must know say for our ability for win pobia, we must accommodate a lot of people them. No be say they must necessarily support we. But our ability for win, now our ability for get people them where them be against our main enemy. As they talk the enemy of my enemy should be my friend. That is a logical thing to do, and that is the right way to win a war. Cameroon be the beg we will make the kind mistake. Now why that when I see then they all over the place, they celebrate, they happy. When I go talk say they can't carry the die, they cry and only the die. Now so war they must cry that way they suit their own agenda, way they show say that they will win. We too, when they kill our people, now how many of the Ambazonia the way they pretend now say they fight for Ambazonia, they be the cry. Even though we say that me one be the shout from January to January, how did they kill our people, them expose them. So you want to talk say now the people where they can't tell now today me then go attack the Republic now they fight for Ambazonia on me. These people then feel say then love una shine una eye, una do the right thing. Una avoid this mistake. We go win. If una dey hear my voice today, make una be assured say the light it is still shine and the truth shall set us free. God bless you now.